Welcome, Momentum. I'm so excited to be chatting to you guys about one of our first DNA, which is first and best. That should be no surprise to you that that is the first DNA that we want to launch. And it's because we believe that business and church are connected in some way and in some capacity. But at the heart of that is we've got to make sure the church and God is our focal point while we build business and while business grows. And so today I want to chat with someone who we believe has done it really well. He has built business while also building church at the same time, which I'm sure that makes you really embarrassed to have someone else call that out for you. But Sandor, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you currently? And tell me a little bit about your business and when you started it.
So first of all, thank you so much for the opportunity to join you guys here at Momentum. It is exciting. So yes, I'm really excited to be sharing with you guys and just talking about the different values that we can implement as business owners into our businesses as we build God's kingdom. So yeah, my name is Sandor. I've been running Reach Beyond, which is a digital marketing company since 2013. And it started just as a way to earn an income. But God really challenged us over time to make it a kingdom business with a vision to help people pursue their calling in God's kingdom and help them to release and do that.
Yeah, it's amazing. And you said you started Reach Beyond in 2013. So it's always
Yes.
been, like, not always, but it's been something you've been pursuing for 8 years. And
Yes.
then even later this year, you and your wife are going to do what?
Yes, the plan is to be part of the Freedom Church Chiang Mai church plant. So as soon as the borders open, we will be putting our feet on the ground. But we've already started with building an online community. So we've just launched Freedom Church Chiang Mai online through Facebook and Instagram. Go follow the pages. And and it is going to be amazing because we will already have a community before we actually get our feet on the ground and start doing live with people there.
That's awesome. So today, obviously, the theme is kingdom at work,
Yes.
merging the two. What makes up a kingdom business? And so oftentimes people try to separate kingdom and church. How do you personally see them connected? And how have you over the past couple of years seen them connected?
It's a great question. And it's something that we had to learn over time, how that could actually work. And when I started first off by myself, and then as God challenged me that it needed to be shared, that's how kind of like the vision grew. So the reason our business exists, the purpose of our vision and of our business, and the vision for the business is all about God's kingdom. It's about building a team of active church planters and church builders and releasing them, as I said, to pursue their calling in God's kingdom. And on top of that, we want to be a light in the business world by operating in a different way. So we apply what we learn about how to live like Jesus in all our interactions with the clients. So that means our agreements look different, how we serve our clients is different, how we communicate is different, and we always proactively aim to deliver more than what our clients expect. And most importantly, we pray for our clients.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Do you ask if you can pray for them? Or do you just?
No, that's actually one of the goals for this year, that we in our team meetings, we pray for our clients. And one of the things that we're pursuing this year is deeper relationships.
Okay.
And all our clients know that we are connected through church, that we are connected as a church building team. But one of the things we are aiming to do is deepening our relationship and saying, hey, are there certain things that you guys are challenged with?
It's amazing.
How can we pray for that?
I love
so it's just taking it a level deeper.
Yeah. And I love that you started the business and the vision and the heart behind it grew. I think oftentimes for people who haven't started a business yet, they want that vision right off the bat. But sometimes we have to start first and then God grows it in us.
Yes. Oh, for sure.
The business grows. It's amazing.
Yes.
Okay. So with First and Best, we are essentially saying that as businessmen and women, we'll put God first. How has that looked like? Like, what does that look like for you over the past couple of years of putting God first and prioritizing him over Reach Beyond?
Yeah. There's always tension between the stuff that you want to do in the world and that you need to do to survive and make money, and the things that you want to do and you're excited about doing in church. So we build our lives firstly around church.
Okay.
And that then influences how we use our time professionally. So in our team, we build our schedule around God and church activities first,
Okay.
instead of business first. So team members are flexible in when they can do their work. I'm flexible when I do the work. And that allows us to disciple, to volunteer, and to contribute and lead in different areas in church. And for me, I really want to scale back the amount of hours that I work. The aim is 20 hours a week.
Okay.
I'm not there yet, but I've made some really good progress in the recent months. And the reason why that's possible is because we've been able to build a really strong team. We're
Okay.
all pursuing the same vision together. All our team members are amazing. They're willing and they're dedicated and passionate about what we do and why we do it. And we've been building our expertise in different areas in the team consistently. So that means that by raising up others to engage, for example, in client management and teaching and training, client acquisition and doing proposals, I've been able personally to dedicate more time to building church.
That's awesome. What would you say to someone that has a structured schedule that can't be as flexible with their hours? How could they build their schedule every week or even every month around God and church first?
Ooh, yeah, it's definitely a huge blessing that we have the type of business where we can be flexible, that we are not stuck to an office or have to be face to face with clients as often.
Yeah,
I would encourage people to challenge themselves to potentially change their work schedule.
it's good.
Like really prioritizing God. If you really want to do that, then you need to make some choices around how you want to do your work and how you want to do your life. For some of us, that might mean sacrificing lunchtimes, sacrificing the favorite television shows that you want to watch, and doing stuff for church,
Yeah.
for God, as
Yeah.
opposed to being at home. And I know many of us already do that. For me, one of the things that I do on top of trying to scale back is I just decide to get up earlier.
What time do you wake
So
up?
5:30.
Okay, great. But
Yes.
that's good though. It's good to recognize that there are things that we can change in our schedule no matter what our work life looks like.
Yes.
There's things
Yeah.
that we can add or take away.
Yeah. It's true.
So obviously you've done a lot with church building. You're about to do a lot with church planting in the business. Just a quick one-off on that one. Were you nervous, saying yes to planting church in Thailand, not really sure what your business was going to look like, or you didn't have any concerns?
No, it's just knowing the call.
Okay.
Like my wife and I, Tasha and I, we know that we're called to build church. We've got a heart for Southeast Asia. So when the opportunity came, we knew that this is what we were going to be part of. So, and then it's just about trusting that God has got the rest.
Yeah. How have you managed in busy seasons with business? How have you managed still prioritizing church and putting God first? And how do you, even in that, how do you recognize the season that you're in?
Yeah, there's definitely ebbs and flows in different seasons, both when business gets busy or when church gets busy. So far in 2021, just an example, we've had the opportunity to step into some new things in church. So here in Siem Reap, where we are right now, and that's stretching our capacity and it's helped us to grow. But at the same time, we've also taken really big steps in the business in relation to taking on new projects. And we've just hired 4 new team members. So there's a fair bit of stuff going on.
Yeah.
And with such momentum, it becomes really important, even more important than usual, to plan really well.
Yeah.
It can be tempting to take things on quickly and try to do things fast as you get excited about what you see God doing or what you think, what you sense God is directing you towards. And for me, I run the risk of burning out and doing it in my own strength. So prioritizing and planning ahead has been really important through different seasons. And then for me, talking about the priorities with Tasha is key. I find it really helpful to do this together, to talk about these kind of things and bounce ideas around, and then really thinking about, well, what needs to come first and what comes after that and what can wait. And that really then releases time and attention to the things that you actually need to focus on first.
Yeah.
And then another thing that we have really high on our agenda is rest.
Oh.
It's a really big challenge for us to create a full day of rest in the week.
Yeah.
Because Monday to Sunday, there is
Something.
almost every day, there is church and business activities.
Yeah.
Well, not on the weekend, no business activities on the weekend, but there's always something going on. So finding that full day of rest is a real challenge. And God is really challenging us on that right now. Like even yesterday, we had a meeting about it with our pastor, and we just kind of like, and he went, you know what, you just got to stop being. So you got to stop doing and start being. And it's like, well, how can we do that?
Yeah.
So we are needing to get more creative in how we build in rest in our week. And we're also planning to get some more getaways in place.
Ooh.
Like we can't travel anywhere right now, but we happen to live in a town that has got, is a tourist destination. So there's lots of hotels. So little staycations are the way to go. So that's what we're planning to do. And I am going to be changing the way that I work with the view of making Friday a true rest day.
Oh, that's amazing. I was going to ask you what you were looking at for rest, because I think that's also something we don't talk about is
Yes.
especially, I feel very called to business, and I know business is a fast-paced environment and go, 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 but rest is so key and so important. And I think rest takes an element of trust. You have to trust
Yes.
God that as I rest, that everything else will grow on its own.
Mm. It's true. And I think if we think about that value, like first and best, if we don't rest, then that's going to suffer.
Yeah.
So I think it's a really, really important point to build in. And I even had a
Good.
chat to our team about it. I said, you know what, we just need to make it a value in our business that rest is important. So even if we think about stretching our capacity and taking on more clients, we need to take into consideration whether or not that impacts our rest day or rest time, whatever that looks like for somebody. Because that if we don't, we're always going to have this ceiling. And I just trust that if we do that rest, that God will bless the business and our church activities, and so we can be more fruitful.
That's really good. Okay, so taking away church from the equation, and the
Yes.
reason I ask that is I just want to focus on God and your relationship with God and your personal relationship with God. How do you merge the two? You all faithfully have built business. How do you constantly focus on God and the vision that He has, and even asking Him for wisdom within the business of, do I take 4 people on right now? Do I wait? Like, how have you focused on God in that?
Yeah, we're constantly blown away by how God provides, and He guides and He directs us. But you really got to tune into that. Like the main thing is to trust Him and not do what logic or reason may say the next step should be. The whole journey of our business has been a huge faith builder. So that's helpful for us. So as we look back, we know that God has directed us constantly and provided for us. So faith is a huge thing. And we could not have imagined at the start how things would be now. We could not have imagined or planned how well He's helped us through 2020 when the pandemic started. And we're again amazed how He's been so abundant as we were going through the recruitment process, because He provided so many great candidates. So we went into this recruitment process, let's talk about that for a sec, with the idea of replacing one team member who had moved on and possibly hiring one other.
Okay.
At the same time, we did talk about being open-handed and open-minded and letting God guide us. So we started with, okay, maybe, so we need to replace one, hire one more. We ended up hiring 4. Because God provided amazing, talented, willing people that we just realized that even though it wasn't our plan, it was God's agenda to hire them.
Yeah.
So we did. So I think that's a really good example of letting God run the business and stepping out in faith all the time.
I think
And it's good. Sorry?
I feel like that is your motto with your business is
Yes.
you're always just letting God run it and stepping out in faith, which is incredible.
Yes. It's true. And I think this decision and just following God in this will stretch us practically, because we now need to onboard these new team members well. We want them to start strong. It will also stretch us in terms of our client base, because we will need to grow our client base to support the growth in the team. So we don't have all the answers yet. And that's okay. It's actually really exciting. It's really exciting. And we're just looking to take one step at a time. And every step we just trust God to show us what's next. So we really view the business as a tool that God has put in our hands to grow his kingdom. So it's, for us, it's a huge privilege and a huge blessing at the same time.
Yeah. It's amazing how you've shared so many nuggets already of getting the vision from God and then prioritizing. I think that was one of the key things you said, is looking at everything going on and prioritizing. What do we need to prioritize? But then also the aspect of building your schedule around church first. I think I'm guilty of that, building schedule around church first and then looking at business and navigating that element of it.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest things you've spoken before within Momentum, and it is this thing around faith and stepping out in faith. Is there anything you would say in regards to like building first and best? Is there anything you would say to someone who hasn't started a business yet but wants to, of how do you build a solid foundation in your business of first and best, looking to God in the church, and then the business?
The key thing is just knowing the calling that you have in your life. And if that's business, and that's obviously why you're here, or you want to pursue whether or not this is your calling, then trusting that calling that God has given you, and then taking the faith steps that come with that. So if that means investing money in products or equipment or anything like that, then do that. Sorry, there's a fly again. Secondly, I would, in terms of first and best, invest in your people. Because once you get the right people in your team, the rest will flow from that. Like God will bring the right people into your team that you can build with for the future. And whether that means they're with you for a season or they're going to be growing with your business long term, that doesn't really matter. But it's just about connecting with the first and best people that God has provided for you to build your business with. And then the clients and everything else that comes with it, God's got that.
Good. Sandor, thank you so much. Is there anything else you would want to say around this culture point and building business, but putting God first and the church first?
Just remember to have fun. God is with you. He's not called us to be business people that are always really serious or anything like that. Just have fun whilst you pursue your calling with God, your business, the people that you live with, all those kind of things. Just really enjoy the journey and really learn to have faith and take those faith steps. I think that's going to make a big difference.
That's great. I love that it's have fun. Have fun. Sometimes we do take ourselves too seriously in business.
Yeah, for sure.
But thank you so much. And everyone watching, everyone listening, thank you guys so much. And I hope and can't wait to hear how you implement first and best in your day-to-day within your business.
Yes, go for it.
Come on.